Tosh here, and today we're going to be talking about macOS Big Sur 11 beta number 8. We are now getting very close to the release of macOS Big Sur, probably only about a month away, I'm guessing. We're at the end of September. It's September 25th, and with macOS Catalina, Apple put out 12 different releases, including the Gold Master. So here we are at Beta 8. We're getting very close. They could just drop it on 9 or 10, so we'll have to kind of see how this goes. But we're getting very late in the beta release cycle here. So I wanted to take a little bit of time today to go over the changes in Beta 8. This is my article here that I put together. Every time a new beta release comes out, I make sure that I put all the latest information in here for you. I've got links, security issues, OS related issues for Mac admins. I've got everything here all in one place, and when I get an update, you can see here I put it right into here. And this is stuff that you're not even going to find in Apple's official patch notes. If we find it in the Mac admin community or I see it out there, I'll make sure I put it out there to keep you guys informed so you're not out there searching for it. I've got it all in one place for you. So let's jump in real quick here. So some of the issues that are hot off the press that aren't even in the patch notes is that Beta 8 does not have a full installer. So when Mac admins and system administrators test the macOS operating system, we need to take it through the DEP system to be able to build the computer for the user. And we do that by just building a fresh install. And Apple has given us a full installer from Beta 1 all the way to Beta 6 and then stopped at 7. And they didn't give us one at 8 either. So I'm hoping that they'll give us a full installer in Beta 9 moving forward. Another change is the screen recording controls. That's another important piece for any Mac user in the workforce if you're a standard user. Let me show you what that looks like. If you go into System Preferences here, and then you go into Security and Privacy, and then you scroll down, or you click on the Privacy tab, and you scroll down to Screen Recording, and you can see MonoSnap, that's what I use to record, and that's why it's checked, because it needs to record my screen. But that's the same thing that's going to happen for users that use WebEx, Teams, or any kind of collaboration tool that will allow other colleagues of theirs to see their screen. Let's say like, hey, Sally, I need you to show you something on my screen. The problem is in Big Sur, you have to be an administrator in your system, and you have to unlock this lock to even grant that access. And Apple has not given us any controls to be able to do that yet. Now keep in mind, I'm on this system right now is on Catalina, so you can see that this is not grayed out. So I can select this. And that works great for you. So you come in here, you select this, it gives you a little thing that says you need to restart the app, and it lets you share. And that's great security. You don't want rogue apps to just be able to record your screen if you have malware on the system. It has to approve. You have to approve the access to be able to do that. And again, it's a couple extra steps, but I think for the overall security of the system, it's a really good feature. So that's all we're asking. We're asking Apple to give us the control to say, hey, if you're a standard user, you can do that. And I know a lot of users out in the field are admins, and they're going to be fine, but it's the people who are standard users that are going to have a problem here. So the next one is the Active Directory login is not working in Beta 8. So if your fleet uses Active Directory still, and you're testing that out, make sure you take a look at that and file an issue. It's not working properly. I've used this opportunity to recommend that you move to local accounts if you haven't already, and I know it's a huge deal to do that, but you will have a lot less headaches. If you follow my blog, you'll see that I posted numerous articles talking about problems with Active Directory. A security update or a combo update will come out, and one thing or another breaks in the Active Directory plugin and causes just a bunch of problems. Some users would have, or some administrators would have to skip an update until it was fixed, or Apple fixed the issue. Standard accounts are the closest you can get to a regular user type scenario, and they're a lot more reliable. So again, that's a little small recommendation if you haven't moved to them already. Let's move on to the actual information in here. And what's interesting about this is I mentioned here that beta 8 only came out 7 days after beta 7. So they're tightening the release schedule here. They're really starting to pump them out faster. Normally, it's anywhere between 1.5 and 2 weeks. And I can show you that schedule here. I'll show you a little scroll down here and look at that schedule. And you can see the first beta 1 came out on 6/22, right at WWDC. And you can see that, as each release happened, it's about 2 weeks. So again, we're getting really close here. So I usually put a summary here to give you guys an overall idea of the new features, known issues, installer notes, resolved issues, and new known issues. And I also usually put Appleseed known issues too. I can't tell you what those are because those are behind the, you have to be a member of Appleseed to do that. And I can show you what that looks like. I've got a link here to the Appleseed portal. And this is an invite-only program. If you're in the enterprise, you're probably in this. If you're not and you're a smaller company, you sometimes can reach out to your Apple representative if you have one and ask for an invitation. And what's nice about that is Apple puts specialized patch notes in here for administrators. So it's a really great program for us to have. So, and I'll put that in there. I won't, like I said, I can't tell you what these are because unless Apple puts them in the public notes, but I can at least tell you if there is any in there. So in this beta 8, there was 0 Appleseed notes. And I'll go back, and I've got a link here to my beta 7. And let's take a look at that real quick, because I wanted to go over those changes real quick too, because there's a lot of them. Enterprise Connect is having some problems, and that's still happening in beta 8. So we want to be able to get that in. And that's a nice application that Apple created that lets those standard users that I talked about connect and sync their password to a directory. So the next one is a security and privacy pane is causing a lot of problems right now for users if they've installed anything that has to do with a kernel extension or a system extension. So what will happen is they'll click on the security and privacy pane, it'll immediately crash, or you get an error that says there was an error loading the security and privacy preferences. We've got also the share audio recordings at the first time sign-in prompt. I haven't had a chance to check this for beta 8, but there was definitely a problem in beta 7. The workaround, or what would happen is when you're taking it to the system through the first time setup, you would get to this screen and then you couldn't continue. The button was grayed out. Luckily, I've got a workaround here. All you need to do is hit the back button and then hit forward again, and it'll get it around this. So that was a little bit confusing for sure. I also put in here that there was a problem with SMB network shares. When you tried to connect to like your home drive or like a share on a server using SMB, it would not let you connect. That is fixed in beta 7, so that's great. I also talked about the date and time. There was a problem in the clock menu bar. The entire menu bar was grayed out. We reported that to Apple, and luckily that is fixed. They did move it though. They didn't leave it, and I'll show you what that looks like. We'll go back into system preferences here, and we'll go into date and time. And this is what was, you couldn't make any of these changes. So in Big Sur, they actually moved this to the new, and I think I've got the name here. Oh, yes, menu bar and dock option. That's a new option in Big Sur, and then menu bar clock. They've also moved some of the battery controls to show the percentage there too. So keep an eye on that when Big Sur comes on. You're wondering where the heck are these controls? There's a new dock and menu bar system preference pane. So the other thing is that MDM support for screen recording is listing is a known issue, and I talked about this a little bit in my last video on how the screen recording works. So I can show you that really quick. If we go back into system preferences, security and privacy, and then click on screen recording, you will get a prompt anytime an app wants to be able to record your screen. So you can see I use MonoSnap here to record the videos. When I first did that, it said, hey, this application wants to be able to record your screen. Do you want that? So it's a nice security feature, but if you're working in the enterprise or you're working in business and you have a Mac, you're going to be using WebEx, Teams, and all these different collaboration suites that would like to record your screen when you want to show your screen to your colleagues. So normally that's fine. If you're on Catalina, all you need to do is click in here. See, this is not grayed out, even though it's locked. It's a little bit confusing. You can still click this and allow this. Big Sur changes that. Big Sur says you need to be an administrator to be able to approve that. So that's a non-starter for education, and that's a non-starter for standard users in the enterprise. And a lot of, don't get me wrong, a lot of companies allow admin access, and that's totally fine. And you will be fine here. But if you're a standard user, you're not going to be able to allow that screen recording. So we've asked Apple to give us some MDM controls to be able to at least manage this somehow. The good news is right here, they've said that this is listed as a known issue to be able to manage these controls with MDM, mobile device management. So they told us that in beta 7, and they've also told us that in beta 8 too. So I'm hoping when beta 9 comes out in a week here, and it's coming up pretty quick, it might even hit next week, that we will get some MDM controls. And actually I've asked them to maybe give us some custom profile to be able to install, because I worry that the controls won't have any keys, and you'll have to, or for example, Jamf Pro will have to implement this into their software releases, and we'll have to wait until that's done before we control that. We want to be able to release Big Sur on day 1, so we want to be able to control this function. So let's go back here to the changes in beta 8, and there's only one this time, and I think wait, I've got that right here. Yep. Resolved in Big Sur beta 8. An issue with the kernel no longer causes applications to quit unexpectedly. So I didn't particularly see that, and I didn't see very many people complain about that, but that's good that that's fixed for some users, and that's the only fix. Let's listen in beta 8. But that's why I kind of wanted to go back a little bit here and show you how I also keep track of all the full installers. You can see here, hey, we don't have a full installer. There is no full installer. There is a Big Sur Delta update, and there's a Big Sur combo update. The Delta update's 2.34 gigabytes, and the combo update for Big Sur beta is 3.61 gigabytes. The T2 was not updated. It was only the build version changing. You can see that I keep track of the previous build BridgeOS, and that's for T2 systems from 2018 or newer. Again, you don't have to usually keep a track of that because it's kind of a behind the scenes piece, but it's something that you want to keep an eye on. So it went in beta 7, it was 18.16.12.380, and as you can see, it's the same. But when I opened up the package and I was able to look at the information P list, or the versioning P list of the BridgeOS update, it lists as build version 3, and sometimes they do that when there's no significant changes, and they don't change the versioning. For example, 2020-006 could come out, and this could go to 12.4.470, and I'll keep track of that so you guys can keep an eye on that. And I also keep track of that in my macOS system status page, and you can see here that on that I keep track of every single release. Hopefully this page actually helps you. There's a lot of information here. I keep system issues. I can bring us all the way down to the BridgeOS. Yep, see, I keep track of all the BridgeOS updates, even the ones that were specialized just for specific hardware. And this one was for the brand new 2020 MacBook Pro, and this had a special BridgeOS update that came from the factory. Let's get back here. And then that's basically it for beta 8. I wanted to go real quick back to beta 7 here, and I think I've got everything covered here for you guys. You have to let me know, does this video, if you've made it this far, are these videos helpful? Do they complement the article that I put together? You know, sometimes I thought maybe it would be a good idea to put these together, because instead of reading a wall of text, you know, hey, just click on the video. I'll tell you all the changes, and I'll let you know what's going on here, and maybe you can, you know, put it on while you're doing some chores, or while you're driving or something like that. Audio only. You got to let me know if this is something that you like, or if you say, hey, I need this quicker, this video is too long, or it's just the right amount of time, the pace is good, hey, feel free to let me know in the comments. Have you tested Big Sur? Do you have it on a test device? You got it on your main device? Let me know. I'm really curious to see what you guys are doing with Big Sur. Again, we're getting very close to launch here. I'm excited about it because Big Sur's been a mess from beta 1 to beta 6. And maybe I can talk about that in a later video, because I go through this beta release cycle every single year and I see what these betas look like, and sometimes they're workable and sometimes they're really rough. But as we're at beta 8 now, I'm feeling a little bit better. The system's running pretty good. There's still a couple issues that we got to fix, but we're looking good. So again, thanks for taking the time to watch this video today, and we'll see you guys next time.